The UAE's desert, a crucial battle for the future. When you think of the United Arab Emirates, images of towering skyscrapers, luxurious shopping malls, and golden beaches immediately come to mind. But behind the glamorous cityscapes of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, there is another side of the UAE, its vast, arid deserts. Stretching over 90% of the land, these deserts are not only home to unique wildlife and a harsh environment, but have also played a pivotal role in shaping the country's culture and economy. However, the desert is more than just a symbol of the UAE's natural landscape. It's the future of its sustainability. As the global climate crisis intensifies and resource scarcity becomes an increasingly urgent issue, the UAE has set its sights on transforming its desert environment into a model for climate resilience, innovative water management, and agricultural sustainability. In this deep dive, we explore the UAE's strategic initiatives to manage and restore its desert ecosystems. These efforts focus on sustainable development, green technologies, and adapting its natural environment for a post-oil future. But why is the UAE, one of the world's largest oil producers, focusing on desert conservation and innovation? And what impact will these measures have on the UAE's economy, the region, and the world? Let's explore the UAE's long-term vision to turn its desert into a global example of sustainability and resilience. Why does the desert matter for the UAE? The UAE's climate is one of the harshest on Earth, with temperatures regularly reaching over 45 degrees C, 113 degrees C in summer. Rainfall is rare, occurring only a few days each year, leaving much of the country as an arid desert with minimal natural resources. However, this desert environment is integral not only to the country's identity, but also its survival and future growth. In a country where fresh water is scarce, agriculture limited, and soil quality poor, the desert presents significant challenges. The UAE's traditional reliance on oil wealth is now facing its own set of risks, as global energy transitions shift toward cleaner alternatives and the environmental impacts of oil extraction continue to grow. As the UAE navigates these challenges, it recognizes that the desert could hold the key to its long-term economic and environmental resilience. The UAE has set its sights on making climate adaptation a national priority, and the desert plays a central role in this strategy. By transforming the desert from an isolated, barren landscape into a hub of sustainable innovation, the UAE aims to diversify its economy and enhance food security, while also contributing to global efforts to address climate change. Combating desertification and promoting land rehabilitation. One of the UAE's biggest challenges in managing its desert land is combating desertification. Desertification refers to the process by which fertile land turns into desert as a result of climate change, unsustainable land use, and overgrazing. Increasing temperatures and lack of rainfall are exacerbating desertification, which threatens the country's soil health, biodiversity, and future agricultural prospects. To combat this, the UAE has implemented a comprehensive national strategy to combat desertification, 2022-2030, which focuses on restoring degraded land and protecting the fragile desert ecosystem. This strategy aims to increase soil fertility through organic farming techniques and land reclamation projects, plant native vegetation that can thrive in the harsh desert environment and help prevent further soil erosion, promote eco-friendly practices for sustainable farming, which includes the use of drip irrigation systems and soil conservation techniques. The government has also invested in scientific research to better understand desert ecosystems and develop strategies for land reclamation. This includes working with research universities, environmental NGOs, and global partners to tackle issues related to desertification. As part of the UN Convention to Combat Desertification, the UAE has pledged to combat desertification by increasing vegetation cover and soil quality, focusing on both desert restoration and proactive measures to avoid further degradation. Additionally, the UAE has made strong strides in afforestation through initiatives like the Al Marmoom Desert Conservation Reserve in Dubai, which aims to rehabilitate desert habitats and provide a sanctuary for endangered species. These measures help to restore the natural balance of the desert ecosystem while reducing the environmental impact of urbanization. The UAE's greening of the desert, from vision to reality. While the UAE is a desert country, it is also a country that prides itself on innovation. Nowhere is this more evident than in its greening projects, which seek to transform the UAE's desert landscape into a thriving environment that supports biodiversity and agricultural growth. One of the most ambitious projects underway is the UAE Green Agenda 2030, which seeks to enhance green spaces and reduce carbon emissions across the country. By implementing agriculture in the desert, the UAE has made substantial progress in its agriculture sector, turning barren land into productive agricultural spaces. Modern farming techniques such as hydroponics, vertical farming, and aeroponics are being widely implemented to grow crops without requiring large amounts of water. These technologies are especially useful in the desert, where water scarcity is a major concern. In Dubai, the government has created vertical farming hubs in the heart of the city, with crops grown indoors using sustainable, water-efficient systems. These farming systems help reduce water consumption and maximize land use, which are key to growing food in a desert environment. One of the most notable examples is the Pure Harvest Smart Farms, which operates a cutting-edge hydroponic facility in the desert, producing fresh vegetables using minimal water. In Abu Dhabi, the Masdar City project takes an even bolder approach by creating a zero-carbon, zero-waste city that integrates renewable energy sources with sustainable farming techniques. This project aims to showcase how sustainability can be achieved in a desert landscape through innovative design, energy efficiency, and clean technologies. The UAE's focus on water conservation. Water scarcity is one of the UAE's most pressing issues, and the desert is at the heart of this challenge. With fewer than 100 millimeters of rainfall annually, the UAE has few natural freshwater resources. As a result, the UAE relies heavily on desalination to meet its water needs. However, desalination is energy intensive, and with rising energy demands and the push for sustainability, the UAE is focusing on new, innovative ways to conserve and manage water resources. To ensure a sustainable water future, the UAE has invested heavily in desalination plants, which convert seawater into potable water. The Al Tawila desalination plant, for example, is one of the world's largest and most energy-efficient desalination plants, providing drinking water for millions of people across the UAE. The government is also making progress in water reuse and wastewater treatment, recycling water for agricultural use, and reducing the demand for fresh water. The UAE's National Water Strategy 2036 focuses on using advanced technologies to reduce water waste, increase efficiency, and promote recycling. Protecting desert wildlife and biodiversity. The UAE's desert is home to many species that have adapted to the harsh environment. Wildlife conservation has become a key part of the UAE's desert-focused policies. The Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve, DDCR, established in 2003, is the first dedicated desert reserve in the country. It aims to preserve the UAE's unique desert ecosystems, including native species such as the Arabian oryx and the sand gazelle. These species were once endangered due to overhunting and habitat loss, but thanks to conservation efforts, their numbers are slowly growing. In addition to the DDCR, the UAE has established other nature reserves, including the Al Wathba Wetland Reserve in Abu Dhabi, which is a key site for bird migration and home to a variety of wildlife. This reserve is also part of the UAE's commitment to biodiversity and ecological balance. Developing desert tourism, a new frontier for sustainability. The UAE is also making the desert itself a tourism asset, focusing on sustainable desert tourism. The country's commitment to ecotourism and sustainable travel is evident in its development of desert resorts, nature reserves, and cultural tourism initiatives. Visitors can experience the desert through guided safaris, stargazing, camel rides, and camping in eco-friendly resorts. One such example is the Al Maha Desert Resort in Dubai, which blends luxury with sustainability. The resort offers eco-friendly luxury in the heart of the desert, with a focus on reducing energy consumption, water usage, and waste. It also supports conservation efforts through the Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve. Leading by example, the UAE's role in global climate action. The UAE's efforts to combat desertification, restore ecosystems, and promote sustainable land management go beyond national borders. The UAE is actively involved in global initiatives to combat climate change and desertification. As a member of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, the UAE is part of a global network working to restore degraded lands and promote sustainable land management practices. Additionally, the UAE is playing a leadership role in global climate negotiations and has made ambitious climate commitments under the Paris Agreement. The country's nationally determined contribution, NDC, outlines strategies to reduce emissions and increase climate resilience, with a specific focus on desert regions. The UAE also hosts the World Future Energy Summit, bringing together experts, policymakers, and companies to discuss sustainable energy, water conservation, and climate solutions. Conclusion: the future of the UAE's desert. In conclusion, the UAE's desert is not just a barren landscape, it's a vital part of the country's future. From combating desertification and restoring ecosystems to developing sustainable agriculture, water conservation, and ecotourism, the UAE is leading the way in climate adaptation. By embracing its desert as a source of innovation, sustainability, and global leadership, the UAE is setting an example for arid regions worldwide. As the world faces climate change and resource scarcity, the UAE's desert may hold valuable lessons on how resilient ecosystems can thrive even in the most extreme environments. As the UAE continues to implement its desert-focused policies and projects, the world is watching to see how this desert nation will transform its challenges into opportunities, not just for itself, but for the entire planet. The question is no longer whether deserts can be tamed, but how deserts will become the solution to some of the world's greatest environmental challenges. The UAE's pioneering efforts in desert innovation and climate action are a vision for the future of desert nations everywhere. Will the world follow the UAE's lead in turning desert challenges into opportunities? The transformation of the UAE's desert is only beginning, and it's something the world can't afford to ignore. What do you think? Will the UAE's desert be the future of sustainability? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on how the UAE is shaping the future of our planet.